Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater. And one of the franchises that's come out in the past couple of years that I've been a really big fan of and I've really wanted to see continue has been the Kingsman franchise. When I saw Kingsman back in 2015, I was absolutely blown away at what Matthew Vaughn did with the story. I felt that it took the gentleman spy concept, turned it on its ear, gave us a good protagonist, a great villain, a good story, a lot of comedy, a lot of great violence, and just was overall a hysterical movie. In fact, my most popular video on my main channel is with over 1 million views nearly 4 years later, is me defending the anal sex joke at the end of the movie, because at the time, social justice warriors got real upset at the butt sex joke at the end of the first film. Like, it's a joke. And then you go and you watch Kingsman: The Golden Circle, and the cool thing about that is, again, subverting expectations. It's not that Eggsy hit it and quit it with the princess. He marries her. He marries her. He's been with her and he loves her. They met, had the butt stuff, and then went on to go and get married. Again, subverting expectations, subverting tropes. What I liked about Kingsman: The Golden Circle was that it was more of a Roger Moore take on the gentleman spy concept rather than a Sean Connery take, which was the first film. And now with whatever's going to be going on with the prequel and Kingsman 3, I'm very, very, very curious to see where Matthew Vaughn is going to take the particular franchise, because we're getting some updates today saying Kingsman 3 and the Great Game prequel both shoot in 2019, saying that 2019 is going to be a big year for the Kingsman franchise. We're going to get Kingsman 3 and a previously revealed prequel are both on deck for director Matthew Vaughn, with the prequel said to be titled The Great Game filming first, with a proper sequel to last year's The Golden Circle heading into production not long after. Now, according to a new report, the Kingsman prequel movie, which is set to begin production in January, is a period drama, as opposed to a big action spectacle like the previous installments. Per this report, it will focus on the organization as a tailor shop as opposed to a spy organization. It will show some world history through their eyes. It's also said that one particular line hints at what the Great Game will actually be about, saying the man who would be Kingsman. This is clearly a riff on the man who would be king, but beyond that, no further details have been revealed at this time, except that Ralph Fiennes is being reported to star in the newest film. And that sounds like an interesting concept to me. I've also heard that Brad Pitt is reported to be in the film, although that could just be, the Statesmen, how the Kingsmen meet the Statesmen, because that was their sister organization that we met in the second film. And a lot of people out there didn't really seem to care much for the Golden Circle. I do feel that it lacked a certain oomph that the first movie had. I wasn't too happy with Julianne Moore as the villain in the end. I thought she was kind of a funny take on a drug dealer, Martha Stewart type, again, subverting expectations. I just don't feel it worked as well as Sam Jackson's megalomaniac character that he was in the first movie. But that being said, outside of the death of Merlin, I thought it was a pretty solid film. Yeah, I didn't care for that. Merlin was a great character. Mark Strong is a fantastic actor, and having him go out the way that he did, I just felt just wasn't my thing. I really wasn't too happy with that. Just in regards to the movie, I felt that was the worst part, because you want to see Merlin and Eggsy and Harry get together and team up. You want the Q with the old Bond and the new Bond. Taking out the Q makes no sense to me. However, considering the fact that the franchise is probably going to bring back a couple of characters for the third movie, it's entirely possible that Lancelot will return as well as Merlin, I would assume, because Merlin was wearing the suit of armor at the time, the bullet-resistant suit. It's possible that it could have withstood a mine explosion. Who knows? Anyway, it goes on to say here that it says Matthew Vaughn is also hard at work on finishing up the screenplay to follow up last year's The Golden Circle. The upcoming sequel will wrap up the relationship between Eggsy and Colin Firth's Harry, but their characters will both live on to possibly appear in other Kingsman projects down the line, such as the also in-works TV series. Their connected story, however, will conclude in Kingsman 3. Speaking of the TV series, it's also being reported that the show won't be anything like people are expecting. That leaves the door wide open for speculation. What that generally means is budget. The budget won't be what anyone is generally expecting. Matthew Vaughn is a brilliant enough filmmaker to operate within a very, 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 very good budget, right? Look at Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass came out in 2010, blew everybody away, $30 million budget. I forget what the budget was for Kingsman, but it did go on to gross over $440 million worldwide. Specifically in South Korea is where it did the best. Kingsman: The Golden Circle, while not grossing as much worldwide as the first movie, still grossed over $400 million worldwide. And I guarantee you on a limited enough budget. One of the things, like I said, Matthew Vaughn is great at is raising the money for the films himself, shooting it himself, and then getting a distributor. The distributor in this case actually happens to be Fox. And with the Fox Disney deal closing here relatively soon, I mean, they're talking like within a month is what they're kind of aiming for at this point in time. One could think that Matthew Vaughn is trying to get these two projects out while things are still in flux, right? Because it's going to take, even though Disney will officially own 20th Century Fox, and it's going to be a vertical between, 20th Century Fox, Walt Disney Studios, with the parent company being the new Disney or whatever the hell it is that they're calling it. He probably thinks he might be able to eke these two films out by the time the dust settles, is my thinking of it, because there is going to be a change at Fox. R-rated films at Fox are going to slow down 100%. We're not going to see an R-rated Deadpool after anymore. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. That's why Once Upon a Deadpool is a tester for the PG-13 version, which, sucks because I want to see it at the same time. It annoys me because if I know that if I pay to go see it, then I'm giving them money, therefore proving the theory is right. It's a real gamble on the way you look at it. But anyway, I feel this is what Matthew Vaughn is up to. My only fear, my only real fear about all of this is that Jane Goldman isn't involved, because she's currently running the show for the Game of Thrones prequel at HBO. She's been with Matthew Vaughn, I want to say, since the beginning. They co-wrote Stardust together. They co-wrote X-Men First Class together. They co-wrote Kingsman. I think she worked on Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Jane Goldman is a fantastic screenwriter, and her and Matthew Vaughn really complement each other. So when you don't have that pairing, I'm wondering if Matthew Vaughn, I'm wondering if some of the faults of Kingsman: The Golden Circle were more about her not being as involved with the script, and it was more him, and it was him focusing on the spectacle because that's where his mind goes, whereas she creates the heart by creating the characters. So I'm really hoping that's not the case, and that he's able to give a solid, good finale that she's able to give a lot of really, really good notes on while she's busy building up Westeros 5,000 years before the events of the Game of Thrones series. But that being said, I put it to you. Do you guys think that the Kingsman 3 and Kingsman: The Great Game are worthwhile to see? Did you care for The Golden Circle, or is it really just the first movie from 4 years ago, the better one? These are things I'm curious to know, so please write them down in the comments. If you haven't already, shoot our voicemail line a call at 818-350-3281. That's 818-350-3281. I'll be doing the call-in show here this weekend, and you guys can get your questions answered by me in a voicemail form. And other than that, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check back often for more content. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This has been $3 Theater. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.